Comrades, I think from the General Industries Workers Union of South Africa, and I think also I speak here on behalf of South African Federation of Trade Unions, that has of course mourned the death of Elvis. We wish to take this opportunity to pass our sincerest condolences to the family of Nyathi for the tragic and unnecessary loss of life, and particularly in the most brutal circumstances in which Elvis Nyathi lost his life. The reality, comrades, is that Elvis Nyathi was brutally murdered in the most bloodiest, in the most criminal fashion that is imaginable. And I don't think there's a need for me to overstate the fact that nobody deserves to die in this particular manner, especially for no crime other than being black, poor, and a migrant. That is not supposed to be a crime, comrades. But the reality is, more than that, comrades, I think this is a time where we have got to recognize that for this country, this death and this brutal murder is the lowest point and a failure in a working class solidarity, unity that we need, as a black working class in particular. Because the question that we need to ask ourselves, why is it that Elvis has to die? Why is it that today, for you to be a black migrant in this country, from Zimbabwe, from Mozambique, from Nigeria, is a source of ostracism, is a source of criminalization? Why is it? The reality, comrades, is that it's because we've entered a period of the most deepest crisis of politics, of economy, but also the whole fabric of the country is beginning to tear apart. And I think we've got to be able to say, what is the way forward in this situation? And I think part of that way forward, comrades, has to be, we've got to reclaim the streets of this country against hatred, against xenophobia, against fear. We cannot accept the situation. We cannot accept a situation where our brothers and sisters live in India simply because they are from Zimbabwe. Simply because a handful, and I want to emphasize that word, comrades, a handful, because there is temptation for everyone to begin to think this is a war between South Africans and migrants. The reality is, overwhelming majority of working class people in this country have lived and continue to live with migrant brothers and sisters in peace, in solidarity, with love that we live. We need to be able to say, okay, what is the way forward from here? We need to be able to say, it's not enough for us to come and gather and mourn with Nyathi. It's important that we go out there. The reality is, we must have a march to the head office. Come on! People responsible for this need to be held to account, need to be prosecuted. Yes. And they must be held to account. But comrades, we must be clear in that demonstration that it is the people who murdered Nyathi that we charge, but not them alone. It is the ANC government that we charge for this matter. It is for the police that we charge for this matter. But not only. It is not only the ANC, the police, and their family system that we charge. It's also the ZPF in Zimbabwe. ZPF has reduced the brave, heroic people of Zimbabwe to die, to be a Zimbabwean, epitomizes beggary, hunger. How did we come to be there, comrades? These are questions that we need to be able to ask, but these are questions that we must confront. The reality is, the only alternative to this hate, to xenophobia, to poverty, is a powerful mass movement need to take power. And that power must not only be political, but economic. We need all these mines, all these factories, all these funds. We need our land, we need the economy to be in the hands of the working class. Anything less than that will lead to more bloodshed. From Cusa, we are saying to the comrades of ours in Kopan and Africa, let's have